Once those wheels took off into the air and I had the whole view, it changes your perspective on everything.
I was very excited and ready to get here to fly and learn how to fly planes.
Yes, my friends and family reacted. They was like excited for me. They was, cause it's not really a lot of African-American pilots, so they was like, yeah, you need to keep going with this.
I think the biggest rewards from this program would be not only seeing myself improve in the sky, seeing myself improve as a better person.
When I'm dedicated to something, I stick to it, no matter whoever says like, oh no, do this is easier. No, I'm committed to what I want to do.
The Red Tail Cadet program is designed to bring some kids out of Ferguson-Florissant School District and give them an opportunity that they otherwise might not have. And utilizing aviation as a stepping stone.
That's kind of the big picture of it. The small picture is that we've gotten to know each one of them really closely. We've gotten to understand what's important to them, what their hopes are, helping them hone in on what their next step is after high school.
We find kids that are just absolutely amazing, high academics, and well recommended by their principals and school district. And so what we did was put them through flight school, through Elite Aviation, and let them learn. They made connections, they learned how to fly, they did things that they didn't know they were able to do, and they just succeeded beyond measure.
A couple of years ago, I was in Africa, and we were flying on a small plane from Rwanda into Tanzania. And we had two pilots there, and they looked young, really young. And as we're talking, I talked to one of the pilots, I'm like, okay, we're in Africa. I said, you're a black guy in Africa. How'd you learn how to fly planes? And he talked about growing up in Kenya, out in the bush somewhere. And as all Kenyan fathers want their sons to grow up to be doctors, he said, I don't want to do that, I want to fly planes. And they didn't know what to do with that. So the village got enough money together to send him to South Africa to figure it out. And he got into an aviation school in the process. And when I got back on the plane, I realized if he could learn how to fly in Africa, then we could teach kids in Ferguson how to fly. So, you know, we got back to the States and talked to some friends and met John Tipton and Donna Tipton at Elite Aviation. And in their little conference room, I shared an idea, and John started writing on the board. And he glowed about it, and we started talking about it and realized we can get this done. I used to live in Alabama, so I understood the Tuskegee Airmen and the Red Tails. And one of these kids, they have a piece of history with them. And so the Red Tail Cadet program comes from that.
It just played out like it was supposed to. One thing after another fit. It just was right.
And we began the process at that point of going back, who are these stellar students we're gonna go after? Who are these bright, engaging young minds who are growing up in a place, and we found them. It was a rigorous interview process and testing and physicals and flights and everything else. And the goal was 6, and we found 6 who were, who stood up to the challenge.
They're also different. They each bring something so unique to the program and to this little family that has been created.
These cadets, doesn't matter where they're from, they have bright futures ahead of them. They're goal-directed, they're disciplined, they want an opportunity to do whatever any other kid can do across St. Louis.
And it's a hard program. So they're learning to fly. This is not the myth of flying, this is not simulator flying, they're flying. So it's a semi-residential program. The kids will come in on a Sunday night, and when they come in the Sunday night, they'll check in at a hotel, and then they'll come over to one of our partners, Undivided Wealth Management. And in there are mentors that are there. Some are aviators, some are business leaders. We're dealing with Boeing or Undivided Wealth. Everybody gets to bring to the table something, because it's not just about being a pilot. It's about being a good human being, being a good student, a good neighbor, a good representative, a good ambassador. And so everybody gets to pour into their lives in different ways.
For Elite Aviation, they came bright and early, 8 a.m., Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and they had flight blocks. And so they would start Usually around 9 a.m. they'd pre-flight the planes, they check for fuel, they check oil, they make sure the planes are safe, and they know what type of objectives they would be flying that morning. And so they would typically fly from 9 to noon, and then we would break for lunch and they would debrief and talk about all their flights. And so in the afternoons, we typically had ground schools 2 of the 3 days that they were with us. And oftentimes we would have an event in the afternoon. So maybe an outing that showed them some other location on the airport or around St. Louis that dealt with aviation in some aspect. We saw Lambert Airport, we had a visit to Boeing, they saw some corporate locations. Everybody wanted to chime into the Red Tail Cadet program. Everybody wanted to show the cadets what they had.
For the program, I was one of the chaperones, and I got to start the program, and we kind of started a Sunday night ritual of doing our game night in the hotel, which got loud at times. I got to know these kids really well. We laughed, we talked, we played games. I got to be their mom away from home, which was amazing. You start to see them come out of their shell where they were really quiet, maybe at first, a few of them. You start to see their personalities, and they start to feel comfortable just, letting their guard down and not being on when they were with me. So from the beginning, these kids did not know each other. Some of them went to the same school and never talked to each other. And what's funny is now they're best friends, they're family. I mean, this was a rigorous program. There is no doubt about it. I mean, you can't help but get close in a moment like that.
I think the 6 of us really maintain a strong camaraderie. As you can see in that background, we're playing games and we're always getting to know each other.
Because we started off, nobody really knew each other like that. So just being able in 6 weeks just to combine together and like build a bond and a close friendship, I love it a lot. I wouldn't trade it for the world.
It actually is a lot nicer to have friends alongside you learning about the same steps as you are. It makes it like you can catch up on your friends and say like, how was your flight? And you guys can relate.
It's like they have my back anytime I need them. They're there for me when I'm struggling, and they're always there for me to talk to.
I have a new family. That's my family right there, What we do is we're always constantly building, not only our bond is stronger, we're building other bonds from other people like Boeing, Lambert, Crossing Church. We have a lot of connections, and I like that.
They're all different. They're all individuals. They all have their own stories. They all have different ideas and goals, and they all learn differently. And it was really neat to dig into that a little bit, to get into the deep stuff with them and know that each one of them have aspirations and challenges and things that they're hoping for. And it's a lot of fun to engage in that manner with them, to know that, there is opportunity out there, and we can do this together, and you're not by yourself. And it's not only me, it's everybody that's been involved in this program has just plugged into these kids. They're engaged, they're out there, they're seeing that this has changed things for them. And they can do things that they had no idea that they could do.
What I learned about myself is I don't want to do the normal. I want to do something different. I don't want to be like everybody else. And this is different. Everybody doesn't get the chance to do this, and everybody's not doing this.
I think I've learned that I like new opportunities, but I've learned to push back against that one bad day. Everybody has a bad day, and it kind of gets you a little dismantled, but I think I'm doing better just pushing past it.
Being a pilot, I love that. That's a part of me.
This program has helped me open up, talk to people, get out of my comfort zone, to talk to people and get opportunities for myself.
This is through the roof. Like, I just feel like I could fly anything. Well, I can't, but I just have that type of confidence to fly anything, conquer anything, learn anything. There's no obstacle now. If I can fly a plane, I can do this. If I can learn this much information, my assignments from school shouldn't be a big deal.
We took a trip down to Sykeston, throw rolls for a cross-country fun day, and they literally flew the aircraft down, landed, flew it all the way back.
Today we took off from Spirit and we went to Sykeston. So we went past Cape Girardeau and down in Mississippi, followed the Mississippi, and we tried to get like we just tried to follow the map, what the map says.
We went to this cafe. Man, I'm still full from that food that we all ate today. And flying back was clear, nice and clear. We flew near some clouds, and I don't know, I'm pumped, you know? I'm ready to just fly again. Today was real fun. I got to spend time with my team, my CFIs. I don't want to go home. I want to live here.
What's going through my head when I take off is it's a rush.
I am actually flying.
Taking off it's really fun, just being able to put the full power in and then just rotate back and go up in the air.
Like, I'm learning how to fly a plane. Not everybody learns this at my age.
Like, you really just gotta focus on the view and what's inside.
But just even looking out at the different houses, the rivers, everything, I was like, wow, I never thought I'd be able to see it, the clouds.
I still can't really believe it. You know, 6 months ago, I wouldn't think I'd be flying small planes. It's really surreal.
I mean, they've flown a plane, for goodness sake. I've never flown a plane. So they have this like, yeah, flown a plane. I would sit a little higher at a table too. I hope that they can see that the sky's the limit for them, that they can do anything that they put their minds to, and to believe in themselves, to have the confidence not to let anything scare them away, that fear should not play a part in their future, and that they're all amazing, and if they put their heart into it, that they're gonna do amazing things.
I want them, first and foremost, to be better human beings, better people. That's number one. Number two, I'd love for each one of them to look at a career path forward and recognize I can do anything. There's not a major, there's not a school I can't get, nothing. I can do this. And they're refining those skills right now, recognizing, hey, I thought I wanted to do this, but I can do this, and that's where I want to go. And we try to put enough people around them and say, we'll help you get there.
I think why it's important for the community in general is that every connection you make, every relationship that gets established, it creates connectivity in a stronger way.
It's a community effort. When the African proverb said it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a corporate community to raise the awareness that we can make change, and that's what's happening with this.
And it will happen again, you know, if we have a next round of students coming up in the winter time. We'll meet them, we'll interview them, we'll figure out what their goals, hopes, and dreams are. And we'll just walk them through it as much as they'll allow us and as far as they'll let us take them. And I think that is why this program is important. It has a ripple effect. And they're talking to their families, they're talking to their cousins, their friends are seeing what they're doing, how much they're challenged and how much they've grown. And that's the big part of it.
I think seeing all these people come together, the crossing, Boeing, the list is long and wide, and so many people wanting to engage and to make a difference, and that's neat to see. Let's keep going. Let's make this more. Let's make this better for them. That's how relationships are made. That's how fences are mended.
This program, we do it because these kids are worth it. Like, they are. It's life-changing. I can only imagine how much it changed theirs because it changed mine like tenfold, so. Watching these kids graduate from where they started to where that they're at now, They've accomplished so much. I know we're calling it a graduation, but it's a celebration because this is just the beginning for them.
These 6 cadets would sit at anybody's table. They are the best of who we are as a country. They are best of who we are as a city. They are best of who we are as Christians. You hear their stories, you'll listen to them, and it's infectious. And you start talking to people, and they say, well, where are you from? Ferguson, really? Tell me more about that place. Because I had this different conception about where you came from. And are there any more like you? And they can say, yes, there are. Let me tell you about a place. I think that's our responsibility, to give young people an opportunity to shine. There's no more get in the box, stay in line, get out the box, get out of line. Let's do this, let's change the world.